Hi, good evening. You've called the Delilah Show. Who is this?
Her unmistakable voice has filled the airways for more than 25 years, bringing encouragement and advice to loyal listeners who tune in each evening to hear her radio program, simply called Delilah. The show spotlights the strength of family love and friendships, an area Delilah can relate to as a single mom of 13 children, 10 of whom are adopted. So let's talk about motherhood. You've adopted, you have a lot of children. We'll put it
I have a lot of children.
You have a lot of children.
I am the old woman who lived in a shoe. I got so many kids, I don't know what to do.
Why did you decide to adopt? And especially adopt so many children? Why
Well,
did you
I never intended to adopt so many children. That was God's plan, not mine. When I had 6 children, 3 biological and 3 adopted, I was done. I said, I'm done, and I was happy and I was content. And then God said, oh no, you're not done yet. And then he brought me my son Thomas. And so then there was 7, and I thought, okay, that's good, I'm done. And a few years later, Lanika, and then a few years later, Blessing and Angel, and then a few years later. So now I don't even say it. Every time I say to my kids or whoever, I'm done, they're like, Mom, don't even waste your breath, because you'll be 90 years old and bringing home babies.
Last year, I had the privilege of bumping into you in Ghana at one of the slave castles. And you were with 2 of your beautiful children. And when I walked away, I thought about the love that I saw that you had for them, and it was indescribable. They seemed so happy.
My kids are amazingly happy, and even though most of them come from really horrific backgrounds. One of my daughters is HIV positive because she was abused as a young child by a family member. One of my daughters was beaten beyond recognition. The doctor at the clinic that I have in Ghana didn't even recognize her when she was brought to him, and he had known her whole life. Yeah. But my kids have, through God's grace, been so blessed to overcome those painful things, those painful memories and experiences, and really use those tragedies to make them stronger, better, more loving human beings.
A lot of times people do something to help someone else, but in return they are blessed by it themselves. How has adopting blessed your life or changed your life?
Well, most of the kids, all of the kids that I've adopted have special needs, one kind or another. So God allowing me to be a part of their growth and their process and see the milestones they hit, the achievements they make, it's overwhelming. I wake up every day of my life with kisses. I wake up every day with my daughters, hugging me, kissing me. They climb in my bed, they snuggle, and that's the best.
Now, I'm sure there are highs and probably some lows, some things that we don't expect. I know not long ago you lost one of your children.
I actually lost a son that you got to meet.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you got to meet Sammy. That was the hardest thing I've ever been through. I lost my parents when they were young. I lost my brother when he was young. But losing a child, there's no way to describe it. I always said when my mom went through losing my brother, she lost herself. She went crazy. And I always said that was a club I never wanted to belong to. But I also know that all of our days are written before a single one comes to pass. God knew when he was going to call Sammy home. And I was blessed to get to share a part of his life.
Yeah. Now, before the interview, we talked a little bit about this, and I said the word loss, and you said pretty much what you just said.
Yeah, he's not lost. I know exactly where he is.
Yeah.
And I know that in the blink of an eye, we'll be together.
Yeah. Let's talk about your personal turning point. We're talking about family today, and it seems that family had a lot to do with your own personal turning point. Can you share that with us?
I was not raised in a Christian household. My parents were not religious. Although my mother, God bless her, sent us to every vacation Bible school that our little town had every summer. I learned a lot of stuff there. And then my best friend went to catechism. And so I would go to catechism with her and learn the Bible stories. And I always was fascinated and drawn to things of the Lord, but I didn't know him personally. And my brother became a Christian when he was a young man through a relationship he had with a girl he met at college, and fell in love with her, and they married. And then they were in a plane. He was an officer in the Air Force, and they were flying to see me and my newborn son, and their plane disappeared in a storm. And it was several years before we found the wreckage. And through that loss, I had to have answers. I was going to go crazy. I was going to die. I hurt so bad losing my brother. And I started searching, and when you open your heart and say, God, I need answers, he's like, I was waiting for you to ask. And he showed up in force with all of his grace and mercy and love, and overwhelmed me with his love. And I was 26 when I gave my heart to the Lord and was baptized a year later, and it has been an intense love affair ever since. He loves me stupidly to death for no reason whatsoever. There's nothing in me that has earned or deserves one of the blessings he's poured out upon me. And yet every day, through my kids, through my work, through my farm, through my horses, through my dogs, through my life, he just pours love into my life. And I sit there and go, I don't get it. I'm so overwhelmed with how in love with me he is and how he spoils me with his love.